Hey folks, this is John Oakes here with Hankster's Hot Rods here in our Homer City, Pennsylvania location. Today, as we normally do whenever you see me on video here, we're going to go over our newest addition to our inventory. And that's going to be this car sitting right here behind me here. This is a 1972 Chevrolet Chevelle. Now we'll give you a brief overview of the car before I start my walk around here to kind of point out, you know, the condition and so forth of everything. But obviously you can see here it's done in this really nice red exterior here with the black rally stripes up over the hood and back on the rear deck lid there as well. As far as the stance here that you see, well, we've got a set of American Racing Torque Thrust 2 polished aluminum wheels. These are 18-inch both front and rear. And as for the tires, the sizes on those, we've got two 45 18s on the front and two 55 18s out here on the back. This car, as far as the driveline goes, it does in fact have the 402 or the 396 motor, same motor, but it does have that in it for the engine, big block Chevrolet power, 700 R4 automatic overdrive transmission, and then out in the back, the rear end, the differential there, we've got a 12-bolt GM rear end, 350 gear POSI unit in there. As far as our running gear, brakes and steering and such, we do have power steering and power brakes. It is in fact disc brakes up front, drums out on the rear, and again it's all complete with the emergency brake all hooked up there. So that's kind of the brief overview. So we'll start here now with our walk around, point out to you what we're seeing, what we're looking at here, and go over the condition of everything with you. So again, starting here at the front, obviously we'll get around to the nose here in just a minute, but you do see it does in fact have the chrome bumpers front and rear. The hood itself, this is a cowl induction hood. It's fiberglass. It is a complete lift-off hood. So you'll see it's got the 4 hood pins at each corner here. So you're going to pull those pins, lift that hood off. That way you have a completely open engine compartment if you ever need to do anything in there. As far as the bright work or the trim work on our car, we've got the wheel lip moldings here on all 4 corners. Those all look very nice. They're all attached, good and secure, nice and straight, polished up really well there. We've already been over those nice wheels and tires. We've got the SS badging here on the front fenders along with the 454 underneath. Now again, it is badged 454, but like I said, it does have that 402/396 motor in it. As far as our doors, the panel fitment and alignment, well, you can see our gaps there to the front side of the door as well as the back side. Very uniform, nice tight gaps here in the door. All of our elevations are dead on whenever you're looking at the front fender to door and the door to quarter panel fitment here. And again, all of your body lines all match up. In combination with the wheel lip moldings on the car, we do in fact have the bright rocker trim on the car too, and that all looks to be in really good condition. Door handles are done in chrome, just a few little tiny scratches on it. Again, it is an older car, so you're going to see little tiny things like this. If we go up a little further, we see our glass here in the door and the quarter. Our glass, there's no chips or cracks in any of the glass anywhere. That all looks good, slightly tinted. We do in fact have our mirrors, both sides here, the driver and passenger side. They are the square or rectangular mirror, chrome finish. The glass inside looks very good as well. And you also have the bright drip rail moldings. Drip rail molding over here on the driver's side looks very nice here and straight, good and secure. Also, I run my finger through that rain gutter, that channel there, to make sure that's nice and smooth, and it is in fact nice and smooth. Let's open our door up, take a look at our interior now. Again, the interior's really nice in this car too. We've got the all black vinyl interior, the black bucket seats up front, bench seat in the rear, and those do in fact have all the seat belts included too, both front and rear. Carpeting in the car is in excellent condition. No rips, tears, or fading that I can see anyways from this side anyhow. You've got the full length automatic center console with the horseshoe shifter, factory dash, factory instrumentation, navigation, the sport style steering wheel, that 3-bar steering wheel with the Chevy bow tie emblem. And then if you look below where your radio would be, you do in fact find 3 of the aftermarket gauges there, and that's going to be our usual 3 that we normally have. You've got the voltmeter, the oil pressure, and the water temperature gauge. Again, all of your seat upholstery all looks really good. I don't see any rips, tears in any of the seat upholstery. If we look out at our door panels here, same thing. Everything looks all good here. All your bright work, your trim and stuff looks good. Even your armrest pads look good. They don't show any signs of wear and tear. There's no rips or tears in those. And again, you do in fact have the SS badging on the interior of the car as well. The weather stripping and seals all the way up around our door opening here, all in good shape. Even your quarter window seals here, those are good and secure. And then same thing out here on the door as far as your weather strip goes. Those are good and secure. No rips or tears anywhere in those. And again, you do have the little rubber bump stops there for cushioning when it closes. So we'll close that. And then we'll walk around to the back of the vehicle. Now that quarter panel, nice and straight. Again, as we come all the way back, your bezels here for your side marker lights, those are painted and those all look good. Chrome rear bumper looks good too. There's no scratches, there's no pitting or anything on this. Looks to be in good shape. Our taillight lenses, there's no cracks in any of those. Those all look very nice. Of course, you've got the SS badging on the center of the bumper, the Chevelle script up here on the trunk lid. As I mentioned, those black stripes, those rally stripes continuing on from the hood of the car. If we look at our rear window, there's no cracks in our rear window. All of your bright work, your trim, all securely fastened. I don't see, it all looks nice and straight around there too, looks in good condition. Now our trunk lid itself, you can tell it's adjusted fairly well too here. Again, our gaps and so forth all the way around look pretty good, and our elevations all look really nice on the trunk lid. Now let's go ahead and open our trunk, take a look inside. So first, you do see the key does in fact work the trunk lock. The underside of the hood done in the same red as the exterior of the car. All your weather stripping or your trunk seal here, all in good shape. No rips or tears anywhere in that. All nice and soft as well. Trunk is done in the black and aqua trunk spatter paint. Now it does have, I believe that's an Atwood. It is a battery box there for relocating the battery. So obviously your battery is back here, and again, there's no battery up underneath the hood. They've run all the cables back here. Then up underneath here, they've got some aftermarket lighting underneath here, you know, for the trunk lighting. So whenever you open that up, there's a little toggle switch right over here. You can flip that switch and you'll have plenty of light in here. As far as the trunk floor itself goes, all nice and solid in here. Your drain plugs are all installed. Now it does look like there had been a patch put right in the center, and the only thing I can think of that was probably there for at one time was maybe a different fuel tank. Maybe it was an ease of access panel there to get to the sending unit per se, but again, it's been you know, cut out nicely. It's been seam sealed. It's all good and solid back here now. So that is your trunk. So let's close that. Again, that shuts easy. And then over to the passenger side. So again, first thing, I look up across the side of the vehicle, nice and straight. So again, your elevations and so forth like that, those are all in really good adjustment there. As far as our wheel lip moldings, again, those are all nice and secure here, all the way around the vehicle. The wheels and tires are in great shape. Up here now, we've got that drip rail molding there. Again, in pretty good shape there. Looks like like we've got a little ding right here in the center of it there, but again, it's all securely fastened. That drip rail, it's that channel through there, nice and smooth there again. Again, your glass here, no chips or cracks over here. Everything all seals up very well. Your gaps on your door are very uniform. Again, on the passenger side, pretty tight gaps there. That matching mirror to the other side with your chrome finish in really nice shape. The glass is in great condition too. Door handle looks good over on this side as well. Let's go ahead and open up now so you get to see the interior from the passenger side. Again, as I mentioned, you know, pretty much all factory stuff in there except the 3 gauges there underneath the dash. And of course, I believe that's probably an aftermarket steering wheel, probably not the stock wheel. But again, that's a very common wheel. Again, all of your seat upholstery, no rips or tears there. All of your seals up around your door opening here, all in great shape. Same thing with your weather stripping here down around the door. No rips or tears anywhere. Nice and soft, all securely anchored. Door panels all look good. Armrest pad looks good as well there. And again, you still have the rubber bump stops on this side. That shuts nice and easy. And then we'll come around, we've got the matching SS454 badges here, those rocker, or the trim molding down there on the rocker, and then we walk around to the front of the car. So up front here, again, this is just gonna be your typical 72 front end nose here. You got your sealed beam headlights here, the glass lenses, no chips or cracks anywhere there. Your grille up front here all looks to be in good shape. There's no cracks, there's nothing broke in the grill, that's all good and solid. The matching SS badging here right in the center of the grill. Nicely chrome front bumper with no pitting or scratches there. All of your directionals or your parking light lenses, those are all good and intact with no cracks or chips in any of those. Bezels all look very well on the front of those too. Again, that's pretty much it for the front end of our car. As I mentioned earlier, now that you're at the front of the car and you get to see a good look at that hood, the hood itself, again, fiberglass hood, Cal induction, complete lift-off hood. It fits very, very well as far as the hood goes. But again, this is something that you'll need to pull the pins, probably have an extra person here to give you a hand with it to lift it off, which we will do here in just a moment. The windshield itself, this is in good shape too. There's no chips or cracks in the windshield. All of your bright work, your molding, that all looks to be good and securely fastened. You do in fact have windshield wipers on the car. The arms and the blades are all in good shape there. And it does look as though this has the antenna in the windshield. So again, you notice there's no antenna on the fenders or the quarters. You do see the antenna in the windshield there. So you do in fact still have the antenna there. So with that said, we're now at the point where we're going to go ahead now, open the hood up, go over the engine and some of the driveline components with you. So if you give us just a moment, as I said, we're going to pull these pins, get an extra set of hands to help lift this hood off, and then we'll be right back here in just a minute to go over that engine with you. All right, folks, so now we have the hood all lift off here on the car. We're going to go through now, tell you as much as what we know about this, the motor, the accessories that are on it here. And then we'll finish up with the rest of the drive line, of course, and then the things that I normally go over with you folks. So again, with the hood off, we can clearly see this big block Chevrolet motor in here. Again, it's a 402, and you can tell they've got a lot of nice components on here, some shiny stuff here. Starting with your air cleaner, you've got your chrome top and bottom here for your air cleaner. Of course, you've got the decal up on top there for the 402. Underneath the air cleaner, we do in fact have an Edelbrock 800 CFM carburetor, and then this is a Pro Comp polished aluminum intake. So that's going to be kind of like your air and fuel delivery here for the motor. Obviously, another piece that you can see on here that actually looks really nice, I think, and that's going to be these fabricated valve covers here, polished aluminum. Again, those are in great condition. They've got the Edelbrock breather on one side, and then of course over here on the other side you've got the PCV valve. Other components here, of course, we've got the chrome alternator bracket. You've got the aluminum water pump housing here, or water gooseneck, I should say, not water pump, but water gooseneck. And again, same thing here that we go over, you know, with all of our cars as far as the lines, the hoses and everything. The top radiator hose here looks to be in really good condition. All the hose clamps are in good shape, and as you can see here, there are no leaks anywhere along the length of that radiator hose. The water pump, aluminum water pump here, got your alternator, all your belts all hooked up, including all your power steering accessories here. And then of course it does have the power brakes as well, with the disc brakes up front and the drums out on the rear. And again, I want to reiterate that it does have the emergency brake all hooked up and functional. As far as your radiator goes, of course, you can see it's got that chrome top piece on here, the dual electric fans here as well. Those are in look to be in great condition. The shrouds that those come with all look to be really nice there as far as that goes. And again, that's going to cool things really good too coming through this radiator. Those electric fans are a lot more efficient. It allows you to take the mechanical fan off of the water pump. Again, just makes it a whole lot better there for the motor. As far as the exhaust, then the breathability of the motor, we've got the 1 3/4 long tube headers there, and of course those exit out into a set of 2.5-inch exhaust all the way back, turbo style mufflers, tailpipes that exit underneath those quarter panels there. Now behind this motor, one other thing, the ignition system on the car, it has been upgraded. We've got the HEI ignition system here, the distributor, and then of course you've got a very good set of Taylor Street Thunder plug wires here to help deliver that spark from your HEI distributor. Now behind this motor, you do in fact have the 700R4 automatic overdrive transmission. That's going to make things so nice for you when you're out cruising around in a car like this. You're not going to over rev anything with that overdrive. Just put it in overdrive and you can cruise forever in a car like this. And then again, with the rear gear in this car, it's just a 350 gearing, but it's got the 12-bolt GM rear end with the POSI unit in there, of course. So that's going to help get the power to the road there. You're not going to have any issues there. So that's pretty much the engine, the drive line. That's pretty much our whole walk around video now. So again, at this point, I always kind of tell you folks that depending on where you're watching this video from, it may or may not be from our company website. I would always recommend that you do go there. It's hanksters.com. That way you're going to be able to see all the photos of this car, upwards of 100 photos of it. You'll see this video, you'll see the pricing, the description, and all of that stuff, all the information that you could need. You'll see it all right there on our website. Now, if there's something that maybe you don't see, or that you maybe can't get from the website, I always recommend that you reach out to us, give us a call, ask us those questions, or ask us for whatever photos that you might need that you don't necessarily see. We'll be glad to get those answers for you and anything that you need from us. The other thing is any kind of parts or accessories maybe that you might not see on a car like this that maybe you want to have added. We do all kinds of installations here at Hanksters. So I would just recommend, once again, you reach out to us, let us know what it is you'd like to have added to the car, and we'll be glad to get you pricing on parts and labor to have that particular thing installed on the car. So with that said, we're pretty much all done right here. So what I would ask is just give us a moment. We're going to go ahead and get everything all tidied up here, take this car back to our lift, get it up in the air so that we can go over the complete underside with you. So just give us a moment and we'll be right back with you. Hey folks, welcome back. Now we are back here in the shop. We've got our 72 Chevelle here up on the lift. So as always, we're going to go through this car, the complete underside on it here. Pretty much like I always say, going over the condition of everything that we see here. But again, we're going to call out the components and so forth that we do have underneath here so that you guys have a good indication of what it is exactly we're looking at. So starting up here at the front of the car, again, there's really nothing here to go over. We've got that chrome front bumper. Right behind that bumper and so forth, your front end, you of course have the radiator. And again, as we've kind of already been over, we have seen that that is an aluminum radiator there. What we're mainly looking at here is to look at the bottom side here and make sure there's no leaks or drips. And in fact, there are none. I look at the drain petcock. I look all the way across the bottom of the radiator. I also look at those lower radiator hoses and the clamps, and everything is nice and dry underneath here. Of course, it's got those dual electric fans there too that are kind of encased in their own shrouds. Again, there's nothing broke, there's nothing cracked. Those are all good and solid, so it's going to, you know, keep everything nice and cool for you. If we come back a little bit further, we'll kind of start to talk about now the suspension, the steering, and the braking components here on the front of the car. So to go over the suspension, we'll start off with the sway bar. This is an 1.25 inch front sway bar. Looks like they've probably upgraded these bushings to probably a urethane bushing. They are greasable, so these are going to be in really good condition here. They look great. You come back a little further, and of course you're going to have your sway bar end link bushings and so forth, and those all look good. There's no splits or cracks anywhere in those. Again, the condition on those is good. The front cross member here, this is where all your suspension pretty much starts off of, as this is where everything bolts from. So that is important to make sure that that all looks good, nice and straight, and it does. It doesn't look like it's ever been hit on anything underneath here. Your control arms, these are going to be just your stamped steel or OE style control arms, both your upper A arms and your lower A arms. And then as far as the shocks, all that stuff, all the mounting hardware, all the shock bushings and everything all look to be in good shape. Ball joints all look good. Rubber dust boot covers all intact on here. And then as far as the steering, it is a power steering car. And we check out the pitman arm, your drag link, tie rods, tie rod ends. And again, everything looks good. It looks as though everything's been maintained regularly on the car. You can tell ball joints and so forth, they've all been checked over, greased, maintained properly. Rubber dust boot covers on all of those as well. And then the braking system on this car, power brakes. We've got disc brakes here on the front, and they are a, I want to say a slotted rotor. They've got the slot that goes all the way around there, and again, that's going to help with cooling and with cleanup from like your brake shoe dust and so forth. So the rotors all look to be in good shape on both sides. These are going to be, looks like just regular GM components as far as like the brake calipers, pads, and so forth. So anytime you're looking to, you know, replace those consumable items, should be able to pick those up at just about any auto parts store that you find. And then of course, wheels and tires. Obviously, we were able to see those wheels and tires during our walk around, but again, a very nice set of wheels and tires here. We've got the 18-inch American Racing torque thrust wheels, polished aluminum, and then the tires on these sizes on the front, 245, 45, 18s. Out on the back, so I don't forget when I get back there, they are 255, 45, 18s back there. Now we'll come in towards the center of the car. We'll start talking about the drive line, and then of course the exhaust system here too. So of course, as we were just over, this is a 402 cubic inch big block Chevrolet motor. It does have that deep sump oil pan, kind of has that dual kick out down here. Again, that's going to provide you some more space there that you can put a little bit more oil in it, and more oil never hurts as long as you don't overfill it. Again, that's going to provide a little cooler oil source for you, and again, a little bit better protection also. But that oil pan all the way around at the seals, at the gasket there, it is nice and dry. At the drain plug, that is nice and dry also, and even at the back of the pan there where you might see a leak or something from like a rear main, it is nice and dry back there too. So no leaks or drips anywhere around that oil pan. Back a little further, of course, we've got our transmission here. That transmission does in fact have the plastic cover on it to protect that flywheel and torque converter. It is the 700R4 automatic overdrive transmission. The oil pan itself on the transmission, that is dry as well. And all of your transmission lines coming back to the transmission, those are nice and dry. The other places we check are going to be the output shaft seal. That's where your yoke, your slip yoke from your drive shaft slides into it, and that is nice and dry also. Of course, we've got our transmission cross member and mount. Those are all in good condition. And then the exhaust. We don't want to get too far there without mentioning that. So we have the 1 3/4 long tube headers here going into a full 2.5 inch exhaust all the way back. A set of turbo style mufflers there, and then of course it does have the tailpipes on it there that exit right underneath the rear quarter panels. And again, we're going to walk back there, we'll see that here a lot better here in just a moment. As far as the frame and the floors go, car actually looks really good underneath here. The floors look really solid on the car. I don't see any, major patching or anything. Maybe one little itty bitty hole that I see underneath here that was sealed up. Other than that, everything looks good and solid under here. The frame, of course, on our Chevelle is a full frame car. So again, your frame rails all look nice and straight, good and square, all the way back both sides here. And then your pinch welds and your rockers, those are really straight and solid too on both sides here. Of course, you've got that bright work or the trim, the molding on your rockers there to give it that nice look. But again, everything all looks solid underneath here. Of course, you can see all your bracing here on your floor pans. It's all the correct stuff. You can see all your stamping lines and so forth in all of your floors. So that all looks really good. Your drive shaft, that's a steel drive shaft, and it is weighted or balanced so that that's going to help eliminate any kind of drive line vibration that you might have coming through here. Of course, as a safety feature on this car, it does have the drive shaft loop on it here, and that's just for safety because if for some reason your U-bolts back here on your universal for your drive shaft, if they would fail or the universal goes bad and it fails, you don't want that drive shaft just to flop down. This is going to keep it held up in place and keep you good and safe there. So that's a good feature to have. As we come back to the rear of the car now, we'll go over kind of the differential and then of course the rear suspension. So as far as that differential goes, of course, as you can see, we've got the GM 12-bolt rear end. This is a POSI unit inside with a 350 gear. Of course, they've got a really nice thin aluminum diff cover here on it. So that all looks good and everything is nice and dry all the way around. Far as the sway bar here that you see, this is a 7/8 sway bar. Again, those sway bars are going to keep this car nice and tight, and for a bigger car, a bigger Chevelle, it's going to allow that car to handle a lot better, and the 18-inch wheels will help that too. That'll eliminate sidewall flex too that you might have. As far as the control arms on the rear, this 72 Chevelle actually has the SS style control arms on it. They've got the bracing underneath. They're not just open from the underside. So that's all a good feature too. That's going to make those control arms a lot stronger also. Top are just your stock ones there too. The coil springs are all in good shape. Shocks, those all look good. All your mount mounting hardware and bushings on both sides all look to be really, really good on this car. As I mentioned with the braking system, we've got the drum brakes here on the rear, and then of course all of the emergency brake stuff is all hooked up, plumbed, and functional on this car. As far as the wheels and tires, again, same wheel and tire combination, but along with those 18-inch wheels, the tire size is changed just a little bit from the front. And like I said, on the back here, we've got the 255/45 18s. With that exhaust, the finishing touches to it were those tailpipes. Again, as you can see that, they do come out here and exit out right underneath those rear quarter panels on both sides. If we look up now directly above us, we've got our fuel tank, which is in great condition here. Again, there's no dents or dings anywhere. Your straps and all your mounting hardware, those are all in good shape. Frame rail sections back here at the very rear of the car, those all look good too. And then of course we come back here and we finish off with that rear lower valance. And of course you've got that chrome bumper to match the front. That's pretty much it for the underside of our 72 Chevelle here. So at this point, before we get this car off of the lift to fire the motor up, I just want to kind of let you folks know that, as I've been doing on the last couple videos, we are an ATC trailer dealer. We've got multiple models right here in stock, ready to be sold and ready to place one of these nice classic muscle cars inside if you're looking. Again, if you do have a purpose that you need a trailer for, we would ask you to go to our website and check us out there. Again, you can see our trailers on our car site if you just go to the inventory tab, click the drop down and click trailers, or you can go directly to our trailer website at hankstershaulers.com. You'll see all the photos of the trailers on there, the descriptions, the pricing, and all of that for everything that we have here in stock. With that said, let's go ahead and lower this down now. We'll fire up this big block motor.